There's a moment in business that nobody really talks about, and it's not the beginning. The beginning is actually kind of fun. You're building something, you're figuring it out, you're saying yes to things that you probably shouldn't. But somehow it all works out anyway. It is a little bit chaotic, but it's exciting. The moment I'm talking about, it shows up later, after you've done the work, after things are working, and after you've had some big wins. You finally get to a place where you think, okay, this is it. And on paper, it is. The business is there. The income is there. People respect what you've built. But then something really weird happens. It's like finally getting that car that you've wanted for years and now realizing a few weeks later, you don't really enjoy driving it. Nothing's wrong with it. It runs great. It looks great. Everyone else thinks it's amazing. But for some reason, you're just not excited to get in it anymore. And that's a hard thing to admit. So what do most people do? They try to fix the feeling. They come up with a new goal, a new target. They push harder. It's like rearranging furniture in that room that you don't actually want to be in. It looks better, but it still doesn't feel right. And this is where things start to shift. Because at some point, your relationship with your work, it changes. In the beginning, it's about proving something. Can I do this? Can I build this? Can I make this work? And eventually you do. And when that happens, the question changes. It's no longer, can I do this? It becomes, do I actually want to keep doing this? And that's where people get stuck. Because now you're not chasing something, you're evaluating it. And there's no scoreboard for that. There's no KPI that tells you what to do next. So, people stay busy because busy feels productive, even when it's not aligned. But here's the part that matters. You don't need to blow everything up. You don't need a complete reinvention, and you definitely don't need to panic. You need to start adjusting. And you also don't need to assume that the passion is gone. Most of the time it's not. It's just buried. So it's like a house you loved when you bought it. Great layout, great location. It fit exactly what you needed at the time. And then life happened. Stuff got added. Things got cluttered. Rooms started being used for things they were never meant to be used for. And one day you walk through it and think, I don't even love this house anymore. But the truth is, it's not the house. It's what's been layered on top of it. Your business works exactly the same way. At one point, this was a great plan. You were excited about it. You chose it. You built it intentionally. And over time, you added things. Responsibilities, tasks, expectations, ways of operating that made sense then, but they don't anymore. And eventually, you lose connection to what made it great in the first place. So part of this process isn't just removing what's off. It's reconnecting to what still is working. What part of this business did I actually love building? What part feels like me? Where was the energy before everything got layered? Because sometimes you don't need a new direction. You just need to clear the noise so that you can feel the original one again. That's how you bring the passion back. Not by forcing it, not by chasing something completely different, but by getting back to the parts that were right before everything got complicated. Now from there, you start making the adjustments. Think of it like a boat that's slightly off course. You don't jump overboard and you don't spin the wheel all the way around. You make small, intentional corrections. So instead of asking, how do I fix everything? Start here. Where am I spending time that no longer feels right? What am I doing out of habit, not because it actually needs to be done by me? What part of this business still energizes me? And what part drains me every single time I touch it? Because most of the time, the issue isn't the whole business. It's just a few misaligned pieces that you've just tolerated for way too long. And once you see them, you can start making those changes. Delegate something you've been holding on to. Stop doing something that no longer matters. Shift your role slightly instead of completely. You don't need a dramatic move. You need a series of honest ones. Because clarity doesn't come from sitting there thinking about it. It comes from making small adjustments and seeing what starts to feel better. Like tuning that car. You don't replace the whole thing, you fix what's making the drive feel off. And over time, something interesting is going to happen. The business starts to fit again. Not because it changed overnight, but because you did and you allowed the business to catch up. That's the light at the end of this. Not starting over, not walking away, realigning what you've already built so it actually supports the life you want now. Because success that feels like obligation, that's not really success. But the success that fits, that's a completely different experience. And it's available to you without burning everything down to get there. You just have to be willing to adjust. And you have to remember that it's your choice to focus forward.